Welcome back to episode 50. Ooh, was that exciting enough? I've noticed I'm very monotone, so I'm trying to change it up, but at the same time, it's not really how I talk normally, so it's kind of hard. But I'm very excited, even if it may not sound like it, to be on episode 50 because what? Excuse me? What is what is going on? Wait, is it what? What is going on with my items? Why are they all invisible? Oh no. What did I do? Is this... Okay, I I installed a couple of mods. Like, sodium and, lithium. I like how they're both, elements. To kind of help with some optimization because I've always struggled with this world and performance. The shulker boxes have fixed themselves. I... Okay, things seem to be good now. Alright. Not entirely, but okay. It doesn't really matter. That's weird. I'm not sure if it's because of the mods I downloaded, but okay. Well, we don't have to worry about that. Um, last time I worked out here on what is going to be the courtyard of the museum. So I installed a couple of fountains back here. Oh my goodness, that water's loud. I installed a couple of fountains back here and also made these big rose bush gardens. Um, lots of rose bushes went into this. I, oh man, that's probably, it's over a full inventory's worth of rose bushes in either rectangle. So, yeah. About 3,000 actually, because, I checked last time. That is, roughly where the amount of rose bushes I've placed has landed at. And I'm just gonna put these flowers in here because I want to save the bushes, but I don't have a chest for any sort of flower. Um, gonna be honest, not sure why my bed's there. Ah, man, okay. I, sorry, I'm not recording this too long after I just finished last episode, but things are really out of place for no reason. My bed's somewhere random, half of my items are invisible. Why is lava chicken? You know what? It's probably for the better that lava chicken's invisible. We don't need to talk about that music disc. Alright, so obviously, every 10 episodes, we put up a map down here. So I'm going to take these and replace them with shroom lights, so the map is properly illuminated, like these two. But we are not going to be putting up the map until the end of the video, because I want to make sure all of the changes we make today get mapped out. If any, though, I'm probably not going to be building much today. I, for the most part, want to do, I guess a quick little world tour is what I was kind of thinking of. I mean, that would maybe fit better by episode 100, but when you look at all the stuff I've done in the first 50 episodes, there's probably going to be a lot more by episode 100. So I think there's just a couple little chores I want to get done, and then it's world tour time. But it's not going to be very comprehensive because I want to save like a full in detail super long tour for episode number 100 whenever that comes, because you know it's been 3 years since I first started this world, so I mean, it's not entirely unlikely that it'll be another 3 years before um I ever get to episode 100. uh, and that would be crazy. We'd nearly be in the next decade, which is insane to say, but we're not looking forward today. Let's forget about the future. Um, so one little chore, so to speak, that I want to do before I get into anything else is I kind of want to mix in some normal andesite with these polished andesite blocks and maybe just expand a bit of the pathway out to these fountains. And then honestly, that should be all the building we do this episode because I want a break. I've been building a lot. And as fun as it is, I don't like I'm kind of out of ideas for what to do next. So I need a little bit of time to come up with some things again. Okay, well, I do need slabs if I'm going to decorate these walls out here, don't I? Alright, I'll be back when all that's done, and, I mean, there's no real point in showing it off. Because it's just texturing, so honestly, I might just be back, at the point we're gonna start the world tour, to be honest. Well, I have finished out back here, and of course, as always, it's raining, like it always is when I, finish something. I did not texture the tuff because I didn't feel like it at the moment. It's honestly a lot of work to do that, especially when the floor is not filled in. I kind of ran out of dirt, but I got most of it covered up, so I actually kind of want to finish this dirt layer before I add in the normal tuff to that, but I don't know if I'll do that. I might just do the tuff anyways at some point. But then I've also got the andesite in on these sides, and I might have put too much andesite, honestly. Maybe I should have kept it mostly polished. But it doesn't look too bad. I may put back some extra polished andesite at some point, though. Now, this is, well, this is the part of the video where we go on a little bit of a tour. So, I need some rockets before we do that. But, I want to keep it relatively quick, like I said, because I want to keep a more detailed version for maybe a later milestone. Well, definitely a later milestone for 100, and then maybe, more after that, if that ever comes around. But I think the best place to start with is going to be the industrial district, just because, oh, I haven't really been over here on camera in quite a while. I mean, I was over here for last episode, in the ancient cities, but other than that, I haven't really been over here, and, so I thought I'd just give a quick rundown of what's going on over here, because last time I actually made a video over here was probably before, okay, well, I'm not sure why it's having trouble, but it was probably, before episode 30. So, if it'll load, okay. I guess it just didn't want to load. So, Yeah, we're in a bit of a sorry state over here, actually. Things are quite messy. But, um, this I started, I think, episode 14. I actually moved over here. It's crazy to think, this area still feels relatively new to me, but it was years ago that I came over here first. So, I started out, um, just by building this beacon. I really was just looking for something to do because I kind of felt bored with my main base at the time. So I came over here and I just started digging out this mountain with this beacon. Because I had killed the Wither a couple of times, so I brought my second beacon, I think. Or maybe it was the only one I had at the time. But I brought a beacon over here, this one. And I just kind of started mining out the mountain. So all of these double chests are pretty much full of stone from the mountain. It used to be a really tall peak, like taller than that one, but I mined this whole area out flat, and I have plans to keep going, but those are very far in the future because this current area right now has really been enough space for me. So I first started with the creeper farm, because I really needed rockets for my elytra. And now I pretty much have unlimited rockets, but at the time this was a big deal because I really needed gunpowder and paper income. So I don't remember ever putting up signs, but I guess I did. This was built in episode 16, and if you if you come down here, we've got the paper, stockpile from the sugarcane farm, and then the gunpowder stockpile, which I recently stole a lot of gunpowder from here to make TNT to find the netherite for some of the trim sets that I'm working on. And it's already all full. I made this a 3-layer creeper farm, so it produces a lot of gunpowder. It's probably fully backed up, and there's like 50 hoppers in the pipeline of this thing. So, not only does it have the full double chest, but it has a bunch of hoppers, and I'm sure they're all full. That thing is just wasting gunpowder. Because I don't use it enough. I don't come over here. And then this sugarcane farm was so much more trouble than it needed to be. I really should have just built a normal sugarcane farm, and I think, I really wanted it to autocraft into paper. So, I spent forever trying to work out how to make these autocrafters work, which I could not replicate it, but I understand how it works here. So essentially, we're taking, this clear crafter. Honestly, it's going to take a while to explain, but this short and simple, this comparator goes into that crafter and is kind of reading the signal from there, and then compares it or does something to this comparator, which goes into this one. And so, if I recall, we are looking for the crafters to kind of match up in signal strength. So once the paper fills up the 3 holes in this one, it matches the one there, and then it's like, oh, I'd better craft. And then the redstone gets powered when that comparator matches that signal, because the redstone signal goes there, powers the redstone there, repeater powers that block, which I think then powers the crafter to pop its little bit of paper out. And that system down there was broken for a while, because I thought all you had to do was put it into the crafter through a hopper. That's not how you do it. So, I spent like 3 episodes trying to get this tiny little sugarcane farm to work. And I am definitely going to need to make more, because I'm really low on paper, and I always have been. But then, a little bit after, this is the last thing I ever made over here, was the wool farm. And it's actually very nice. I've got 2 sheep on every color. And so I get a lot of wool from this thing. I never use it. So once I actually start using wool, like for banners and stuff in my projects, I'll definitely come over here because, like I said, I used every single bit of red wool over here, which is why it's so low. But these other ones have quite a bit of wool, actually. Because whenever I AFK to get more paper over here, I'm basically AFKing for more wool as well. So I kind of need to fix it up because apparently 3 of my sheep died. Both of my cyan-colored sheep. Well, no. One of the cyan sheep and one of the blue sheep have both died. I'm really not sure why. I think both of one color died. But maybe I just saw the blue and cyan gaps and was like, oh no, both cyan sheep died. But I'm not sure why that happened. I do have 2 random sheep in a hole somewhere, which I guess I put in the hole because I knew... I don't know why there's 2 sheep in a hole. But they're both dyed cyan, so I assumed that I knew about this and was going to fix it at some point, but then never did. So yeah, that's pretty much all that's going on over here. I do kind of need some more farms other than just these 3. But it's like, they wouldn't really be useful over here. I've been thinking of making a prismarine farm. I think I've said this before, because I want to build more with dark prismarine going forward. When I actually start, like, really getting into work on the main part of the city. But I have 0 access to any sort of dark prismarine. So I want to make a guardian farm, which will work a lot better closer to my main base, because there's, like, 3 ocean monuments in the ocean next to my base. So it'll be way easier to make it over there than, like, find an ocean monument in this area of the world, because there's not even really an ocean that close. And then I've been thinking about making my bees automatic, but obviously that would also work better at home, because I'm at my base more often. So it would be more of a passive thing while I'm playing, rather than something I have to go all the way over here to AFK for. And I already have like 20 bees at my base, so I might as well just make that area automatic and let it run in the background. But that's it for that side of the world. And so I kind of want to delve into some of the probably forgotten parts of my base. Because even I have kind of forgotten about these areas. And they're all kind of accessible. Actually, no, I've pretty much covered up my old mine, like, entirely. So, and if I can remember how to get... Oh, yeah, okay. Now, this place has not really been on camera since... Oh, probably a while ago. So this is, the little area in the cave, which I tried to make, like, a secret door. It did not work. But this is the cave from the cliff, which actually looks quite nice. Oh. I never finished fully decorating it. Of course. Of course. Classic me. Has that grown? That might have grown. But yeah, this door doesn't really work, and maybe I'll probably fix that at some point. Because it would be as easy as, like, searching up a short redstone tutorial. But, back here is my very first mine. This is not even the original staircase. So this is the main staircase, and this was the original. It used to go up to the surface here. But sometime pretty early on, actually, I decided to cover that up, and I moved the hole over to here, and then that got covered up when I was working on the lake. So now it's really actually pretty hard to get back here because the only entrance is through this weird little tunnel from the area under the museum now. But I used to have a bunch of chests here for storing all of my garbage blocks like stone, cobblestone, and cobbled deep slate. But I emptied all those out, and now most of the blocks that were here are in the overflow storage. So that's cool. Here is where I used to collect moss, and it's why I have so much now. I would just, I remember I would procrastinate really badly, just digging these 7x7 wide holes all the way down to bedrock. I had actual things to do, work to study, assignments to get done, and I just dug these holes. That was like 2 years ago now. And yeah, not a great use of my time, but you know, so whatever. Looking back on it now, it doesn't really matter. Because I still did well in those subjects. Over here, I don't really know when I did this, but apparently there's diamonds over here I'm missing out on. I started mining down in just, straight tunnels. You know, like, just mining straight down like you should never do in Minecraft. And I guess I put all of the materials in chests. There's like 15 diamond ore blocks over here. Oh, and then I started one for pale moss. That's right. So this is when pale moss came out, and I started one for pale moss. And I guess there's... Oh. Okay, so there's an entrance here, too, into the pale moss hole. Kind of forgot about this one. And I never dug that down to bedrock, which is probably why I forgot. But if we come down here... Yeah, it's probably better to just fall down. I don't want to die due to kinetic energy. Here is my diamond block beacon. I talked about this once, a couple of episodes ago. How the blue beam beacon is a diamond block beacon, and I don't work over here anymore. There's no point to this. But a big part of my procrastination was also this. For some reason, when I dug these 6 holes down to bedrock, I decided to just keep expanding. And I thought it would be cool to mine out everything down here, and so I would just go in a grid pattern, pretty much, and mine out, you know, like, oh, I'll mine out this bit of the wall, and then I would mine out this wall, all the way down to, the other side. And this was before I had access to mending, so essentially what I was doing was just trying to find enough diamonds in one diamond pickaxe to then make another one. And I mean, I did. It wasn't like I ever lost diamonds from doing it, but it was kind of a weird thing to do. There is genuinely no point to this area down here. That tunnel through there, was where I dug to fight the Wither a second time. Because the first time I tried to fight it, for some reason I spawned it on the surface, and it blew up, like, everything I owned, and then, went into hiding for a while. And I don't know, I doubt anyone watching currently was watching, back during those episodes, but it was, like, stuck in a cave over near my museum for, like, almost a real-life year. Like, I just could not find it. And I finally did. Oh no, oh no, oh no. I can't fly. I'm bad at flying. Okay. And I finally found it, so I'm just glad the gross haze and the health bar are gone. I actually kind of forgot that was a whole thing. I think it was probably, like, looking at the episodes numerically not that long ago. Like, real time, it was pretty long ago at this point that I finally got rid of that Wither. But I think it was in the 30s, of my episodes that happened, not the 1930s. Obviously. And then we've got the Villager Hall, obviously. don't really need to go into depth about that, because that was just, episode 39 that I got that all sorted out. Same as the overflow storage, this is what it looks like from the outside. I've probably had it on camera from the outside a couple of times. I think it looks pretty cool. It's like, it's pretty cool for what it is, because it doesn't really have to follow a style, since it's kind of supposed to be like a secret room. But anyways, down here is where the main part of the city is going to be in the future. And I have not really focused on this area of the world in a while. Like, since before the lake. I am really considering changing up this house, though. Or it's not even supposed to be a house, it's more supposed to be a pub, I think. Yeah, I've got, like, bars here. So, I was planning on getting around to actually decorating the interior of this place. But I really don't like the roof on this thing. So, I think before I work on the inside, I want to get the roof sorted. Because I kind of like the bottom area, and then I like the texturing of the top, but I think it just starts to kind of fall apart when I add in the brick stairs and the jungle shelves. I just don't like the shaping of it up there. But it is the first building in the city, so I think I should keep the main structure of it up. I just think it needs its roof to be fixed. But I think it can definitely be named a historical building because, I mean, it was here before the museum was even finished. So, I mean, it's really got some, like, cool points for that. And then coming down here, I kind of want to take this part as a walking tour, like just this little area, because hopefully in the future you'll be able to walk through this whole cliff area. So down here, this was originally pretty flat ground, but like all of this was pretty flat, because obviously if you go through here, this is all underground, you know? So I decided when I was the first big project I did in this world was terraforming this hill here. And that was actually the first episode I did a map. It was episode 31. And because I had done such a big change, I thought, you know what, I should start making maps to show the progression. So yeah, this hill started it all. And I also made some little cliffs along the way, although I don't know. This cliff may have come after. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it was episode 31 or later that I made that cliff, but I definitely know I made this one. And then I think this one was also from the same episode, but I've definitely made some changes to it to make it look a little nicer. It's still my least favorite one, just because of just the angle on this one. Like, I feel like it's kind of missing something from here to here, but this side looks nice. That was originally supposed to be a planter box for a tree, and I think it still will be. I've just never gotten around to that. So I need to put some sort of tree in there, because it's just been sitting. But then we're going to come down this way, past our bees. This is where my first house used to be. You can still see the path blocks. I cleaned it up because I kind of expanded the hill down into here when I was working on the lake, which is also a pretty recent addition, so I'm not going to go too in-depth into it, but I am really proud of a lot of things involving the lake. I mean, these trees are the best thing I have ever built, and I say that very confidently. They look 1,000 times better than that museum. And I will die on that hill. I love these trees. Because they're the first time I tried to build any, coniferous trees. Usually I just go for kind of oak style looking trees like the one inside the museum. And a couple I built when I first started my channel, which was so long ago. Um, but it actually wasn't even that long ago in the grand scheme of things, but it feels like a long time ago because, I mean, a lot has happened since then. I didn't know I still had a bed here. But I really quite like these trees, and I definitely didn't have all this detailing done by the end of the lake episode, but I added some firefly bushes, these tiny little cliff faces, like, they're not really cliffs, they're just kind of boulders, really, rock formations. I really like, actually, what I did with this island. I think this back area could use some more detailing, but it's pretty nice. I added lily pads, cattails. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with what I did with it. Because I don't even remember really planning this detailing out. I just kind of did it on a whim, like one evening, probably. Um, yeah, I probably should finish this island at some point, but it's pretty close to being done. These trees, I really like the style, and I'm planning on putting more along this shore and up the cliff, but that could take a while because I I don't know. I made these as Litematica schematics, which actually already has a version for 26.2 of Minecraft. I have it installed even. If I pulled out a stick right now, I could place down a schematic. But I don't really want to use schematics too much. Because I don't want it to be too noticeable that I'm just copy and pasting the same tree. So even though I made these as schematics so I could port them over into the world, honestly, I might just, like, keep making new tree models, even if they're only slightly different. Because then that way they're each unique, even in just, like, tiny little ways. Rather than just copy and pasted and rotated and stuff like that. Now, I will say, this trunk could be a little thinner. I mean, that is a really thick trunk for such a short tree. I wasn't thinking about that when I made that thing. But this is the view of the city that I really like. Because once you have the buildings all up there, I think that'll look really nice. And, at some point, to add some more shape to these tough walls, I'm definitely going to put a gradient back in those archways. And then that little doorway is going to be yet another entrance to the under part of everything. So it just makes it easier for me to access all the stuff under the museum and things like that. And now this cliff I'm also very proud of. I'm very happy with this cliff. And I think I'll just let it speak for itself. Yeah, because it wasn't too long ago that I built it, so I don't think I really need to explain it too much. But that's about it for the main parts of the world. There's really not much more to do without going... I mean, even that was probably more in-depth than I wanted, but I think things will change so much by episode 100 that it's not really that big a deal. It does make me realize it could benefit me to maybe expand more. Because it was all very in the same area. I mean, there was the museum. A lot of work I did the last 10 episodes. Pretty much all of the work. Yeah, all of the work I did the last 10 episodes. I hate Enderman. They keep placing garbage in my buildings. I should have turned their griefing off. if you can even do that. All of the work I did the last 10 episodes was in this building, and I think it was very worth it, because now it never has to be in this building again. I don't have... Well... Oh my god. How many blocks have these absolute jerks placed up here? I can't... Where do they even come from? I think Endermen should not be able to place blocks on blocks you have placed. Like, I want to keep the setting on because I think it's cool how they pick up blocks, but it really kind of pisses me off how they place them in my museum. That's not where I want you placing your block. Keep your block in your own hands. Grubby little Enderman hands. You know, Enderman used to be my favorite mob. I had a whole skin. Well, actually, that was on this channel. I had a whole skin. I was like the Enderman King. That was my PlayStation handle, believe it or not. One Ender King. Thought I was the coolest. Now I can't even find my chest of deep slate, so that goes to show how cool I really am. Do I? Okay. Well, joke's on me, I don't have deep slate in my overflow yet. I guess it's still needing to be filled up. Oh yeah, I added some axolotls down here. So I think yeah, I named one. Wait. Why aren't there... Okay, I named one dudette and the other dude, and then they had a baby. I was hoping it would be a blue axolotl, but it was not. So it's just bro. Baby baby bro. This is so dumb. I should name him that. I do want a blue axolotl, so I'm gonna keep breeding those guys up. Because I think that's the only way you can kind of get one, unless you get really lucky and one spawns naturally. But I think those axolotls stopped spawning down in my lake, which is how I kind of got them in the first place, so. Well, now that we're done with the tour and everything, I think it is time to look at the maps. So, I'm actually really excited for this. My favorite part is mapping everything. I need 16, which I don't think I have. Those are useless. They're probably... I'm gonna say they're probably in my ender chest. I already checked them. There we go. 6 maps. I need 10 more. I have compasses somewhere. Man, I do so many things to try and keep my system organized, and it never works. It never works. Alright. Just get 2 stacks. Easier than doing it exactly. Alright. We are good to go. So, I am just going to skip ahead to when I have this thing placed, and I think it will be a cool little reveal, and I guess review, but like of what we've done so far. But yeah, I'll be right back with that. Well, I mapped it out, and to be honest, not what I was expecting. Kind of looks weird, doesn't it? I actually expected the roses to be bright red, so I'm a little disappointed that they're green. I guess it makes sense because they're foliage, but honestly, the bright red would have looked kind of funny. But honestly, yeah, I mean, most of the progress we did was inside this building. So I knew it wouldn't look too different on the outside. I mean, there's definitely still a pretty big change, but it's, I don't think, as drastic as the one from 31 to 40, for sure. However, um, the starting base and farm, they're both gone. So that is one thing. And you can see the island is more detailed here, for sure. So yeah, I must have mapped this out before I detailed the island. The beacon's gone. We've got obviously the roof, the fountains, gardens, I mean, and this top layer here, which I don't know if I'm ever gonna expand up here. It seems so distant, really. Because I never really go up here. I go to this beach a lot to mine sand, and you can actually see it looked like this back in the first map, and then like yeah, you can definitely you can definitely see I've slowly been excavating it because it looks like that, and then it kind of looks a little bit more dug out there. And then here it's just, oh, it's rough. I've dug out pretty much every bit of sand all the way up to this point. Um, and down this way there's more beach that I've dug out too. So, you can kind of tell that if you look really closely. And then here's the giant patch of mangrove that I definitely overcompensated on. And I was kind of expecting, I took out like all of the dark oak from here past. So I was, oh, no. that, that half-made mushroom, it's finally gone. It's been there, I don't even know how long, it's just been half broken. It was there for both of the last maps, but then I guess I removed it at some point. Oh wait, no, I'm stupid. I built over it. I don't think I got rid of it, I just extended the platform. Yep. Um, stupid. Stupid. Don't even remember what I actually did. Um, yeah, I'm not really disappointed. I just think it doesn't really properly represent all the work that was done the last 10 episodes because I put in a lot of work on this building. But, I mean, you can kind of tell because the finished product is right there, minus the couple of things I need to fix up front. Um, but I'm kind of waiting on the Cinnabar to do that because I'm thinking maybe that'll kind of look nice on the roof. But yeah, I wonder how it's gonna look at episode 60. We'll have to see. Now, I have one last thing I want to do, and I talked about it before. It's the thing with the stats. So that's a normal book. Um, let me make a book and quill, and then um, I'm just gonna copy down some of my stats and we can go over them real quick. Shouldn't take too long. I'm gonna write them down off camera because that'll take a while. Because it for some reason takes me a while to switch and then type and then go back to the stats and then read and then switch and then type. I might forget what the number was at some point, and it's gonna be a whole process. So I'm gonna do it all without you having to sit through that pain. And I will be back when we can go over it. Well, that actually took a while. That took almost an hour. Um, yeah, I did not think writing things would take so long. But I got the top 5 of all of the interesting ones. So most mined, kind of obvious. I mean, Obviously, I'm going to have mined a lot of stone because of the mountain, because I used to mine a lot. Same with the deep slate. Dirt, I've done a lot of terraforming in the last 20 or so episodes, so that's going to be up there. Netherrack, because of looking for netherite and the roof, and then sand, because of the beach excavation and the inside of the museum. The main floor is obviously mostly sandstone. So, yeah. Most crafted, I had to shorten dark oak planks to DO planks, but I think it's still pretty straightforward. Um, I just had to do that so it all fit on the page. But I have about 20,000. You can see there's quite a drop off on most of these. Stone is nearly twice as much as deep slate. And it's not so much there in the most crafted, but there's still a 6,000 drop off here, whereas the drop off kind of lessens down here. And copper ingots, I've apparently almost crafted more than torches. Who knew? Times placed is apparently dirt. Which actually, I don't know why I say apparently. That's pretty obvious because I have made a lot of floating dirt platforms. Stone next because of probably honestly, it all had to do with just that gray map. It probably most placed would have probably been down here, honestly, for stone. But yeah. And then grass, pretty straightforward. Netherrack and tough, I've built out of both of those a lot, so yeah. And times placed is actually a weird stat because it's not its own thing. You have to hit the times used tab in the items stats, and instead of looking at how many times your tools have been used, look at how many times a block has been used, and that'll show you how many times it's been placed. So it's kind of weird. But most picked up is also pretty obvious. Ender pearls are from all the times I've had to repair my tools at my Ender, as they say. But stone, cobble, deep slate, all the rest are just from mining. And I thought the most dropped was really funny because it's 102,000 ender pearls. I hate ender pearls. They're so useless to me. They're the most useless item in the game at this point because you don't do anything with them after you've reached the end. There's no point. I wish you could craft like some sort of building block out of them at least, but no. You just get a bunch of stacks of 16 pearls and they're all useless. So anytime I pick up a pearl in the end, I'll just throw it into the void, which is why I've dropped so many. When I just end up killing the Enderman around my base, I just kind of throw it, which you've probably seen me do. Because there's no void to throw it into, so yeah. But then there is a huge drop-off to Netherrack at 7,000, which also makes sense, because I don't really need Netherrack. And then I imagine 3 to 5 are just things I've dropped accidentally, and honestly, yeah, number 1 and number 2 are probably never going to change here. But number 3 and 3 to 5 might, just randomly, I don't know. And then miscellaneous here is how just I thought the only miscellaneous like general stats that were interesting were the ones that showed how many times I've opened something. So I've actually opened quite a lot of barrels. Chests is at the most opened. And then shulker boxes is also getting up there because I predominantly use shulker boxes now to carry things back and forth. And then ender chests is actually over 1,000, which kind of surprised me. And then I just included droppers because it was the next biggest thing. They also had... Oh wait, no, this is hoppers. Hoppers searched as 110. Droppers they also had, which I thought was weird. And I only have searched 35 droppers. because obviously, who's looking in droppers? Um, and then I have episode 51's page, episode 51's first page, nice and done. So I think what I'll do is probably just do just write these down on my own time because I'm really more interested in it than I think anyone else would be. Um, I might start taking these books out so I know that that is a book and quill. But anyways, I'm just gonna write down the stats on my own time most episodes because I'm the only one who I think is really interested in that. It's more for me than anyone watching. Um, and then every I don't know what that was about. I also wow, I need to find a use for mangrove roots. That is insane. When did I get that many? They're gonna have to go in overflow. Um, especially if I take those trees out there down. Anyways, what I'm gonna just do is, in private on my own, write all the stats down, and then every 10 episodes, once we look at the map, I'll also maybe go over the most interesting stats out of the last like 10 episodes. I think could be a good way to do it. But that is it. That's it for episode 50. I don't know. I was, I mean, half expecting it to be a really long episode, but I think it's I mean, if it's longer than an hour, it's not much longer. I haven't really looked at the time, but I don't think it'll even reach the hour mark, to be honest. Um, 'Cause I just didn't feel like building much today, and I really just wanted to kind of sit back and look at things, but I also didn't want to go too in depth with the tour and everything, because I want to save like a full, really long world tour for later down the road when I think it's more effective, because there'll actually be like hopefully a fully built base to kind of look at. Um, but I have the day up here, 2,951 for episode 50, 2,547 for 40, and unfortunately, I did not look at the day for number 31. Um, I haven't fully come through episode number 31 to see if I ever brought F3 up, but I doubt I did. I may, just to make sure that I have no access to the day of that video, but yeah. Anyways, next milestone, well, small milestone, is episode 60. So that will be on our next map, and um honestly, not sure how it's going to look by then, because I don't know what we're going to be working on the next 10 episodes. I don't really have a plan in mind. Um, I honestly may need to take a bit of a break. I've been going pretty consistently on episodes. Um, and I think maybe a bit of a break could help me plan things out, or maybe I'll think of something in the next day or so, and there won't need to be a break. I don't know. Um, but I think I'm just gonna start filling up these bookshelves. Honestly, it was only 6 pages. Apparently, I checked. The book can hold 100 pages, not 50, 100. So I have a pretty long ways to go. Um, I mean, that's 10 episodes would be 60 pages, and then another 36 is all I could fit. Um, which would be 6 episodes. So it'll be another 16 episodes before I even need to get a new book, and we'll only be looking at the book one more time in those 16 whole episodes. So, um, that'll be interesting, but I'll start slowly filling up these bookshelves. with the stats books, and honestly, they'll probably fill up so slowly, I don't even have to remove the decoration bookshelves on these other bookshelves. I'll probably even keep these for a while. But I do know that one is the book and quill, so... yes. I was wondering why I wasn't named, but then I remember you need to sign it to name it, and I do not want to sign it yet. But, that is going to be it. So, thank you for watching, as always. Hopefully you enjoyed this little milestone episode. I know we didn't do much building, which is what I assume most people are here for. Because the videos where I don't build never do too well, which is fair enough, I guess. But I do really enjoy just kind of looking at all that I've done like this. The maps are one of my favorite things to do. They're why I really do the episodes at this point, so I can get to the next 10 episode mark and do the next map. They're probably my biggest motivation. But yeah. Next time we will be building, probably. And if it's not building, it'll at least be like building a farm. Because I could always get started on that prismarine farm. I'm looking over there because it's probably going to go way over there. I could always get started on the prismarine farm. And honestly, I feel like I kind of need to get started on this area. So I'll think about it. Because it has been a while since I did anything technical, so maybe it's time for me to delve back into that for a little bit. But I am just so happy to have the museum pretty much 100% done. Obviously, the roof needs a couple of touch-ups, but that's all exterior work that I can really just do on my own. It doesn't need a full episode to just fix up the front there. So it is done, really. I mean, for the sake of episodes, and it feels so nice. So yeah, without further ado, I kind of got off topic. Again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time, where we will be building something. Okay, if that's what you're here for, understand. That will be happening next time. Even if it's not a decorative build, it will be a technical build. So, building in general.